We all know Minecraft art style. It's probably one of the most, if not the most, recognizable art style in gaming history. But when you look a bit at the game, it might be charming, but you can probably realize you've seen the same thing over and over and over again. And as far as I love the visuals of Minecraft, even Mojang with the vibrant visual kind agrees that some upgrades can be made. This is why in today's video we're going to see how to upgrade Minecraft visual with simple addition like mods and shader packs. But now that we've got all that clear, let's get started. And firstly, we're going to improve the textures of the game, or anything that close to it. Therefore, our first texture pack is going to be Fresh Animation. I don't know if I need to present a texture pack at this point, but I'll do it anyway. Fresh Animation is the best texture pack out there, and it doesn't even change the textures themselves, but, as you guessed it from the name, the animation of the mobs. It makes everything look more lively by giving some more realistic animation and various details that just make sense for the mobs to have, like villagers will side-eye you whenever you're close to them, which is a neat detail. I would also recommend texture packs like Vanilla Twigs that are more some quality of life texture pack. And even out of this video, I would recommend it any day of the week. We could stop there with the texture packs, but I know some people would like more, so next I will recommend any texture packs in 16 by 16. Why not 32 by 32, you might ask? Well, it's mostly because 32 or more texture packs doesn't fit Minecraft at all, and the ones like Faithful really feel out of place in the game. And after that we're going more into the modded part of the game, and we will start with the whole generation of Minecraft. And for the generation of Minecraft, there are many options to choose from. First we have Big Globe. I've already talked about this mod in a previous video. It's a mod that completely expands the generation to new heights and makes the world so much more interesting to look at and explore. Another generation mod is Terralith. Since the mod is on much smaller scale, I would recommend this one for less capable computers. So it should still be able to enjoy a very pretty world and detail as well. If none of those two first mods aren't in your standard, then Lex brings the big guns out, with mods like JJ Thunder to the max, which is probably the most overkill mod, since, with the mod, the mountains in the game can be classified as real-life mountain because they are over 600 meters high. Or, if you feel like this is too realistic or standard, then try out Amp Extreme mod. This time this would actually be closer to the amplified generation in vanilla Minecraft, hence the name, since realism isn't close to being the priority, but of course it is still an impressive mod, making a pretty good choice in terms of originality. Sadly, even if these mods are incredible, except Terralith, you can't fully enjoy the full extent of these mods. Therefore, our next mod is one of my favorite mods of all time. It is of course Distant Horizon. This mod is pretty famous and simply allows you to have greater render distance than the vanilla one. You know how video game usually uses worse texture for farther object and details? Well, the same principle is applied here, because if you focus on the blocks, you can see their textures can be 2 by 2 or even 1 by 1, unlike the usual 16 by 16 textures of the game. And now the game has already a much better look simply by adding those few mods. However, there is one thing in the game that can still be easily improved. So, to finish off this video, with the cherry on top of the cake, we will use shaders. Of course, I recommend using Oculus or Iris, which both do the same thing, but on different mod loaders. There is a big variety of shaders to choose from. There's the most famous ones like Complementary or Bliss, but also some pretty ones and less known like Aurora's shader, which makes everything look hyper saturated. As a bonus, maybe you will want to play with those mods, so with it I'll add some other mods, such as all the Young structure mods, which are pretty incredible, or some other mods that add a lot of structures all throughout the world like additional structures, which add small detail in the world to make it more lively. Little parenthesis to all the Young structure mods, if you decide to use Minecraft Big Globe, Then you will need some data packs or other mods. I will link, of course, in the description. And if you went with the more enlarged terrain generation mods like JJ Thunder to the max, then some transportation system wouldn't be too much. And if you went with the more enlarged terrain generation mod like JJ Thunder to the max, then some transportation system wouldn't be too much. You can add mods like Create. With the train you can actually travel long distances quickly while adding a big mod that's useful for other aspects of the game, or install the Man of Many Planes mod, which, as the name suggests, add planes. Or at least install Waystone to not lose your mind on those gigantic worlds. Well, thank you all for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.